We are so blessed to live in a very wonderful part of our country. In our area is a little lake called Lake Minnetonka. It's used for irrigation and also for recreation. And oftentimes I have stood along the shoreline of Lake Minnetonka and looked at the surroundings of the hills and everything and thought about how much it looked like Galilee and the Sea of Galilee in the Holy Land. Now, Sea of Galilee is much bigger, of course. It's a lake. It's called the sea. But Lake Minnetonka just has so much of a resemblance to it. It reminds me of a lot of the events that took place around the Sea of Galilee. Like the time that Jesus fed the 5,000 people up on the hillside that was overlooking the Sea of Galilee. And I thought about the little boy that brought the lunch and how he gave that lunch to Jesus. We don't know any more about him than that, but I was thinking about it and just imagining what it was like. So I wrote a little story about it. And it begins with once upon a time. In a quiet village nestled by the Sea of Galilee, there lived a young boy named Eli. One bright morning, Eli awoke to the chatter of excitement in his home. The air buzzed with the news that the great teacher, Jesus, was nearby. Well, Eli was eager to see the man everyone spoke of with such reverence, and so he decided to venture out to the hillside where Jesus was said to be teaching. Before setting out, Eli's mother handed him a small lunch. It had 5 barley loaves and 2 fish. "This should keep you until you return," his mother said with a smile. Eli hugged his mother and dashed out of the door, his heart racing with anticipation. Well, as he made his way through the village, he noticed that the streets were just bustling with people heading in the same direction. However, the excitement was soon dampened by an unexpected obstacle. See, a group of Roman soldiers had set up a checkpoint, checking the belongings of those passing through. Eli's heart sank. He'd heard about these soldiers and how they'd confiscate food from travelers, and he feared about losing his lunch. Well, determined, Eli decided he'd take a different path through the narrow alleyways, hoping to bypass the checkpoint. As he hurried along, he stumbled upon a steep hill that was covered with loose rocks. His small hands clutched his lunch tightly as he navigated this treacherous terrain. There was several times he slipped, scraped his knees and his hands, but his resolve remained unshaken. And just as he reached the top, he saw the glimmering Sea of Galilee and the multitude gathered around Jesus. With renewed energy, Eli sprinted toward the crowd, weaving through the throngs of people until he found a spot close enough to see the teacher. He marveled at the sight of Jesus, his voice captivating and his presence commanding, yet gentle. Suddenly, Jesus' disciples began speaking about the multitude's hunger. Eli's heart pounded as he thought of his little lunch. Gathering his courage, he approached one of the disciples and offered the loaves and fish. The disciples, astonished by the boy's generosity, brought him to Jesus. Jesus smiled warmly at Eli, his eyes full of kindness. He took the small offering, blessing it and giving thanks. And the little boy watched in awe as the food multiplied, feeding everyone present until they were satisfied. Eli returned home that evening, tired, but with a heart full of joy, and the story he would cherish forever. The day had been more than just a meeting with a great teacher. It was a testament to faith, courage, and the miracle that can come from the humblest of beginnings. And that's the story of Eli. An imaginative story, about a little boy who provided his lunch that fed 5,000 people.